Hey everybody, welcome to the Rev It Up podcast. Super excited to have an awesome guest with me today, Chantel Soumis. And she is a amazing lady she's in Forbes magazine and Thrive and with Business Chicks. And anyway, she's a brand sorceress, differently abled advocate, keynote speaker, consultant, social media, and marketing magic lady. All right, I hope I did that okay.
Yeah, I was curious about how you were going to pull that, but well done. Well done.
So thank you and for being on the show today. And so it's snowing here. How's it out there where you're at?
So right now I'm in Madison, Wisconsin, and it's really nice. I mean, well, for fall, I'd say I think it's like 40 degrees and cloudy,
Okay.
but it's fall weather. What can you expect, right?
Yeah, Madison, you're only a few hours away from here, so that's crazy.
Yeah.
We got snow falling and it's pretty, but it's the wrong season for it, I think. So
Yeah, it can hold off till November.
I totally agree with you there. So Chantel, where can people find you if they want to reach out?
LinkedIn, obviously. I mean, we're the LinkedIn experts, right? So for sure.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of my stories on chantelsoumis.com, and also Stardust Creative is my agency, my branding agency that's right out of here in the Midwest in Chicago, Madison, and Milwaukee. So stardustcreative.net, another great way.
Fantastic. And so Chantel, how did you kind of get your start with your business, and what kind of led you to get into business, and what set you off on that path?
So not your typical way. I mean, there's those people that are born to be entrepreneurs that just have it in their blood and want to go that direction. I was totally not that way. My parents were entrepreneurs. They were accountants. They owned an accounting firm. And I saw that they never got free time unless it was maybe end of summer, way after tax season. But either way, they were never around for spring break. They were never around for childhood. I would get done with school, go to their office, eat dinner under their desk. So people didn't see me, don't tell anybody. But, it didn't seem like the kind of lifestyle that I really wanted until I realized as an adult that they were there for the important things. And I kind of just fell into it. So what happened was I've always loved marketing. I didn't realize that you could love what you did. And I originally went to school for nursing because I just wanted to take care of people. And my mom science wasn't my thing. So my mom redirected me to marketing since that's what I did for their accounting firm since I was, 10, 12 years old.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it sounds bad when I say that because it's like, oh, a 10-year-old can do
Child
marketing.
labor.
Sure. Yeah, yeah. But it was really the exciting thing because you were the fun person. You were the person planning the parties and the promos and giving away cool things with brand names on it. And it was fun. So I didn't go into business for myself until I don't know if you know any of this part of my story, Jess, but I got really sick. I was unexpectedly pregnant that we didn't think we would ever be able to have kids. And lo and behold, we did. But because of that shakeup, my health collapsed and I lost my vision completely. I lost my ability to walk. I lost my ability to hear. Like everything sounded like I had big headphones on, which I do right now, but outside, not with them hooked up. I was unemployed at that time. I accepted my dream job, fell flat on its face. So I had to start fresh and checking that disability box because I couldn't see. I also had mobility issues. Disability was a big obstacle. Nobody called me back. So I went to my disability community, this community of other people with this chronic illness that I now have called multiple sclerosis, in addition to epilepsy and all these other things. But they said, give up. Nobody's going to want you with a disability. Nobody's going to want you if they have to give you a different circumstances. And I was like, what the hell? I'm 25. You can't tell me to just lock myself up in my house forever. And, just that's how life is going to be. No, I'm not okay with that. So I started venting my frustrations on LinkedIn, our favorite platform. And nudge, nudge. And it got a lot of interest because I was talking about a topic that people weren't hearing enough about, especially since disability is something that impacts so many of us, whether we know it or we don't know it. So that's kind of how it all started. People then started approaching me asking, oh, I see what you're doing with branding and marketing. Maybe you could help me, all because I had it all on my LinkedIn profile.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of how it started. Not how I ever imagined,
No.
but I'm not complaining.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I didn't go anything through like that, but I had a car accident, and so I get to wear these big blue blocker things all the time now because I get it just the light just makes me like super tired real fast, and
Oh,
so
wow.
most of the day I have to wear kind of these weird ugly sunglass things so that I can stay awake and alert.
How about that? The like
Kind of
blue
crazy.
protector?
Yeah, it just
Yeah.
blocks some of the light out and makes it, for some reason, adds an extra couple of hours of my day where I'm energetic. So
So cool.
it was a good find. So
Yeah.
the doctor told me to check it out and see if that helped. But so now, were you able to get your vision back then, or?
No, so this eye is completely gone. This eye has most of what I can do. I'm not supposed to drive. I use an attendant to create all of my content online. My team really does an amazing job helping me through and through. It's been amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that adds like a whole nother layer of respect for what you do, because you have great content and really do a good job on LinkedIn. So.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I mean, my issue is very minor compared to what you had to go through. So my mom had
Oh no, don't say that.
epilepsy and stuff, but
Oh yeah? So you know like the whole gambit.
a little bit. Yeah, she hasn't had many seizures since I've been old enough to know, but
That's awesome.
that's good. So, but
That's great news. Oh, that's so cool.
yeah. Wow, I didn't expect to talk about stuff like this, but
I know, right? But it's
you never know.
right? It affects us all in some form, shape, or way. You know, we're all disabled or differently abled at the end of the day, and that's why I love to talk about it, and that's why it's in my title, because everybody's got something. Whether it's taking care of their mom or their adult son with autism, or even themselves, everybody's got something.
Everybody's got some. Yeah, last week we had the contact traced, so we had to self quarantine and all that fun stuff. So,
Ah, no.
but so far, nobody in our family's luckily gotten sick. So.
Knock on wood,
Yeah,
please. Knock on wood right now. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just crazy what's going on, all over the place right now, and so.
It
Um,
is.
so tell me a little bit about the camper you mentioned to me earlier. You said you're doing some travel and that
Life is
stuff.
a blessing. I mean, like, I am so thankful every single day for waking up and having this second chance at life, because I really do think that this is what it is. If I'd never gotten a job or these job offers in this community, there's no way I would be where I am today. And so 3 years ago, when I was diagnosed, I had like $200,000 in medical debt because I didn't have insurance and all that stuff. So my first goal was to like kill the debt, right? And so thankfully, after launching my job, and the LinkedIn platform is amazing, I was able to cancel all my debt. I was able to kill all my debt, my student
Oh, wow.
loans, everything.
Nice.
Yeah, freaking amazing. Then the next year was to give back, because so many people gave me a chance and it was my turn to give back. So we raised money for LLS, the Leukemia Lymphoma Society, and finding cures for cancer. And then this year it's like the year to kind of indulge a little bit and live and experience an adventure. So adventure is the name of the year, and the word of the year. And thanking my husband for being the amazing caregiver that he is. I got him a camper, and we That's always been his dream, like, to sell everything and jump in an RV and just travel the world, which is totally not my style, but it's a compromise. So we got the camper, indulging in those things. And it's also a really awesome thing to unplug, because when you are in the middle of nowhere in the Black Hills National Forest and there's zero Wi-Fi, you can't work. You need to unplug. And it's beautiful. It's so magical having to force yourself to just distance the work. Oh, it's lovely. Have you done that anytime recently?
No, we've been talking about it, but we haven't taken the trip yet, the big trip. So.
Is there a big trip planned?
Oh, we were talking about going down to, somewhere in Kentucky area, but with all the protesting that was happening down there, we were a little bit nervous with the recent stuff. So we kind of pushed it out a little bit, but.
Oh, that's a shame. Well, I hope you find time, because there's
Yeah.
so many cool, like, remote locations where you can just live and let live and just get loose and relaxed. I hope it happens on your favor there.
Yeah, I think we might make it up to Duluth or something, or where there's the big lake, and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Lake Superior. Let's do it. The big lake.
It's pretty big. So, so tell me a little bit about kind of maybe a couple, 2-3 tips of LinkedIn that have really, maybe transformed your business and what you've done.
Definitely video. We were kind of chatting about this a little bit earlier, and video is best for me because I can't see well. So video is a great tool for me to just create content, get my voice out there. I might sound stupid here and there. I stutter a lot because of my nerve damage. There's good days and bad days. And when I stutter and stammer, it seems to get people to say negative things, which means either my message wasn't clear enough or I wasn't on point enough. But it also is the best open door to have discussions. Like, don't judge a book by its cover, buddy. I'm trying my best, So video is great for engagement. So great. Also Subtitles, right? Because I have so many friends that although they can see, they can't hear. So that's a really important to have. Yes. And what else is a good tip? I mean, engagement is everything. If you're not getting out there and meeting people, what's the point of having a social network, right?
It's all about building relationships at the end of the day.
It is. It is, as cheesy as it sounds. I mean, these people can become your best friends. They can become family that you've never met in person. That's the beauty of it all.
Absolutely. I kind of find that the key to LinkedIn is getting people off of LinkedIn and being able to engage to them in other avenues, so you have kind of a multifaceted approach to talking to people and getting on the phone even, or having a Zoom call or, any of those things are really valuable, in my opinion.
Right.
Especially if they want to be clients,
Oh yeah. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah. So, but, when you're making your videos, is there any tips on finding somebody to help you with that, or with outsourcing or anything like that?
Yes. So, okay. With managing chronic illness, I'm also a mom. I also do LinkedIn local events in Madison, Milwaukee, and Chicago, which is where I met Corey in the flesh, Corey Warfield, which is nice. Yeah. And also running these volunteer committees, all of this. You have to outsource. You have to, if you want to fill your cup at the end of the day, you need to make that time. So I totally believe in that. I respect the community that reaches out via LinkedIn or creates content on LinkedIn. Those are the people that I try to build up first. Otherwise, Upwork, again, an amazing tool.
Yeah.
But feeding your own local community first, I think, is a really important thing. So I work with a team here and then employ them in Stardust Creative, so they help with clients and stuff like that. But outsourcing can feel so guilty at times, I shouldn't be spending my money on my content, but you should. I mean, if it offloads something from you and you can focus those hours on something else, like your family or something you love to do that fills your cup, do it. Yeah,
I think like they always say the 80-20 rule, and 20% of what you're doing is actually productive and creating revenue and helping you grow your business. And but you end up a lot of times spending time on that 80% that's, it's good, it's helpful, it grows your business a little bit, but it's not really driving any business. And at the end of the day, you still got to make money to feed your kids. There's this kind of balance that you have to strike, and so that's where I think the outsourcing or hiring locally when possible. There was some people reaching out recently for interns in our local community here, and so kind of looking into that.
That's nice.
What that process is. They switch them out like every 3 months, so you gotta do a lot of training. So I don't know if the training time versus the productivity time is going to pay out.
Yeah, I know. That's a hard thing with interns.
Yeah, it's good to help people.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, it fills your cup just to help. Come on.
Yeah, absolutely.
All good stuff.
Absolutely. So do you have your, like, so the thing that has hung me up quite a bit is the subtitling. Do you have some sort of software that you use, or do you pay somebody to manually do that, or how do you?
Well, I do. So there's an auto captioning tool that you can use that you pay a lot for each month. But that's the thing, is it's a heavy price tag. But I use it because it helps me translate my word to text, or transcribing everything that I have for my team, because I can't always type it out. It doesn't always look good. It's filled with mistakes and errors. So there's that. There's also, it depends on how thick your accent is. I know we're both from the North Midwest, so sometimes those chewy vowels can be transcribed so inaccurately. But yeah, I mean, the YouTube is free, where you upload your video and it transcribes everything for you. It usually depends on how long the video is. If it's, like a 2-minute video, it might take 30 minutes to auto transcribe that for you. And then you just have to set the timings. But that way it's all done for you, and you don't have to go through and transcribe everything manually, which is nice. Yeah. What do you use? Do you use anything?
I don't use much. I mean, I haven't. I just that's the problem is I haven't taken to help people that can't, or have visual issues or challenges, or not visual, auditory, or I said it the other way around. But anyway.
Anyway, you know what I mean. I know what you mean.
I've had trouble with that. Sometimes I'll go in, I'll manually type out the whole conversation into the text of the post and things like that. And sometimes I have, if it's a shorter video, I have done where I import the SRV file, or whatever it's called. But most of the time I haven't, and that's why I kind of actually was asking, because I know that I need to take care of getting subtitled more consistently. And so I've actually not done as much video as I would like to, because I feel bad not having that done, because I didn't, I just recently hired somebody to start helping with video, just like within a month or less. And so I'm just starting to get them up to speed and stuff. So.
Oh, fantastic. Yes, I know it's such a time consuming. People don't realize how much work goes into creating a piece of video, or a piece of even a text post. It takes so much time and understanding and rereading it, or just reanalyzing it before you film. Is the lighting okay? Do I need to reposition this or that? There's so many variables that people just don't get unless they're in the weeds doing it themselves.
Yeah. So I do.
But I don't want to scare anyone away, right? Like, I hope nobody's like, "Oh, I'm not doing this anymore." It's still worth it. Do it.
It is worth it. Yes. So I was afraid of the stories a little bit, because I don't know, LinkedIn or Instagram and Facebook have had stories for a while, and I never really got into it. It's like, I take a picture of my food occasionally or something, because that's what a lot of people seem to do on those other channels. But the thing I have found good about stories, it seems, is like it's a good icebreaker to actually have a conversation. So so far that's the only thing I found cool about it, is that I can do a little snippet and go, "Hey, I'm doing such and such," or "Here's, look at my office," or behind the scenes, or so. But they're so short, but So what I found works best for me so far is just commenting on other people's stories, and then they say
Mm-hmm.
something like, "Oh, thank you," and then you say, "How's business?" or whatever. And
Yeah.
conversation. I don't know. Do you have any other ideas for stories, or have you been using them successfully?
Oh, yes, I have so many
Oh,
ideas.
good.
Don't even get me started,
Oh,
Jess.
good.
Oh,
Oh, good.
well, I guess where I can first begin is when you do engage and you outreach that initial thing, ask them a question,
Hmm.
because that's what gets the dialogue running, and the conversation that just keeps flowing into something more magnificent like a sale. The other thing is a daily, or even like a day of the week where you have something trending, or you have a giant stack of books behind you. I'm sure you could do, I don't know, Read It Wednesday or something like that, where you can grab your favorite book for the week and suggest it, or ask if somebody else has read that book, or what their favorite passage or chapter or topic was in it. So
Good.
there's a lot of different things that you can use with it. I love the back end of things and checking in on people. I love to use it for like leads, right? If I've had a conversation with a potential client and I haven't heard from them in a while, if things just went kind of cold, I will check in, see if they created something, and be like, "Ooh, that spaghetti looks delicious. When are you going to come over and make it for me? Come over to the Star office and we'll have a potluck when things are okay to do so."
Right. Okay. Yeah,
There's
that's
so many ideas, so many options. I'm really excited to see who else tries to use it, because they do offer it for they LinkedIn offers it for companies, organizations to use. So I'm really excited to see what teams start using it and how they use it, because I'm not seeing many right now.
yeah. I noticed I can do the company pages on my stories as well, and I'm thinking, what am I going to do with this? And it takes me so long to make memes and stuff, and it just takes a lot of my day to do little things like that, just because I'm not a
Yeah.
super speed star on that type of stuff. I can pick it up and talk all day long, about a topic, but as far as memes and quirky things, I have
Yes.
to really think about it. So,
Well, you know how you can get started there is just batch record or batch
mm,
collect memes,
yeah,
like right after dinner, if you're like unwinding in bed before you go to bed, scroll through your phone and start saving every funny office meme that you can find, and then just post that like every other day or
that's
something. So it's
true.
all there and ready for you.
See, I always
Yeah.
think I have to make my own stuff. That's like, yeah,
As long as you give the creator
yeah,
that
credit.
recognition, right?
Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
matters.
yeah. I was thinking that, or I could do like some quotes from, John Maxwell or something, or I don't know.
Yeah, but everybody's doing
Everybody
that.
does
Don't
it.
do
Oh,
that.
that's boring. Okay. Yeah, see, I'm not creative in that way. I'm creative in other ways, but
There you go. Well, do what comes natural to you.
yeah,
People want to hear your story and what's going on
true.
in your life.
True. Yeah, I'm good at finding like little quirks, like you type in quotes, you type in calendly.com or something, and you can find people's calendars, and you just book right in if you want, or
Oh
you
my
can,
gosh.
I
Oh
mean,
my word.
there's all kinds of little weird things I found you can do. Group messaging. Obviously, you can go into groups and do, and talk to, that's how I emailed John Maxwell one time, because I'm in the same group as him in a CEO group. And so he didn't answer me, but
Oh shoot. Okay.
the point was
I feel bad
I
for
could
saying
do
my
it,
comments. Yeah, yeah.
so I'm going to invite him on my podcast, hopefully, but we'll see how that goes.
Do it. Do it.
But
Nobody's unreachable on LinkedIn, right?
yeah, Oprah didn't answer either. I invited her to the podcast.
Ah,
She hasn't answered
no.
yet, but
I reached out to Brene Brown and she never got back to me. I'm a
oh
little salty
yeah.
about that. Maybe in the future when we're on the same stage, right?
Yeah. So, no, but I've gotten a hold of some pretty amazing people through LinkedIn. I mean,
Mhm.
Dave Meltzer, I've talked to him, and
Oh yeah. Yeah.
uh, Jim Citrine was on our podcast this last week. He's got 1 million followers on LinkedIn, or
Holy cow.
980,000 or something,
Wow.
and of course Corey Warfield that we talked about, Shay Rose.
Yep.
So there's some pretty amazing people I've had a chance to meet on LinkedIn, and and even have them on the podcast, and yourself, of course, or you're in good company there. So
Thanks, I appreciate that.
yeah,
Give the guest some love. Thanks.
yeah, exactly. Gotta do that. And so, do you have any tips on how you message? Are you into the message sequencing, or you just kind of use it as a magnet and wait for people to reach out to you, or kind of what's your philosophy?
Yeah. Well, I don't do any outbound anything
Mm,
on LinkedIn because I know how uncomfortable it can be, like, to just be pitched, just be a number, in that person's sales quota for the day. It doesn't feel good for me, so I don't. That's just not my approach. But there are a lot of people who do it, and they're
yeah.
killing it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I think maybe if I got to that level where I needed clients on the ball, that's what would work. But what works for me is putting out content as authentically as possible. So I don't pre-schedule anything. I don't force anything, like say I have to do 2 posts a day or 1 post a day.
Mhm.
There might be a week that I don't do anything.
Mm,
There might be a week where I do a video and like just a text only post. But it really is important now that it's becoming more saturated on LinkedIn that you stick to who you are, your voice, and your own stories. Otherwise, you're just going to sink into the noise that everybody else is sharing.
yeah.
There's this hilarious page on Twitter. It's a page, I forget what it's called. I just had to relaunch my Twitter account. We were talking about this because it got hacked,
Yeah.
and one of the people that I follow is this page that actually makes fun of LinkedIn creators.
Oh,
And I love it. It's hilarious because, like I said, there's those people who just do the like, share, and comment on this post. If you agree, share the post though, so everybody can share it, and it gets like 300,000 views.
right.
Um, and those uh, chainmail-esque posts they work, but they're just so overwhelming, and it's clear that everybody's now copying and pasting the same exact message, and it's just
Yeah,
that they're, instead of keeping growing on their trajectory, they're just gonna stabilize, they're gonna plateau, and maybe even go down because people are gonna get sick of it.
yeah. Yeah, I do have to say I'm jealous occasionally. I see this, like, somebody's like got some really dumb video and it's got like 300,000 on LinkedIn, and then I look at my video, it's got like 4,000. I'm like, what's up
I
with
know.
that? My
Hey,
video's better.
no, if it makes you feel any better, I have never gone viral, and I have 80,000 followers. So slow and steady wins the race. Those 4,000 views are amazing
Yeah,
because, 100 of those 4,000 are really going to resonate with your message, and you're going to help them.
yeah, and you meet great people, and you know what, like one time somebody commented on I think it was Pat Helmers, I think is his name, but he was commenting on Dennis Brown's post, and Dennis Brown's a pretty big LinkedIn guy. And anyway, so I meant, and he's got a huge podcast. So I made a joke about something Dennis said, and then he made a joke about something I said, and all of a sudden, Pat and I ended up on the phone. I think I'm saying the right person off the top of my head, but anyway, it was a year ago, so I'm not 100% sure on the name, but anyway, within 15 minutes we were on the phone talking to each other, and he booked me on his podcast show. And
Oh, that's too funny.
it's just stuff like that, that
Yeah.
happens. And then one time a New York Times bestselling author, 4-time New York Times bestselling author, actually lives in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and he reached out through LinkedIn and called me and basically has invited me to go hang out with him for the day at a whiskey tasting event.
Oh, sweet. Where's my invite?
Yeah,
Sioux
I didn't
Falls is
even,
magic.
I don't even drink, but it was like, hey, yeah, I'll come. I mean,
Oh, that's so cool.
when else do you get to hang out with cool people like that? So,
Right.
so it's just the opportunities that sometimes pop up in LinkedIn that are absolutely amazing.
You said, I mean, that's why LinkedIn locals were so awesome.
Yeah.
It was such a great way to get people together that are strangers, but might have that friendly banter in the comments section on a super user's content. It's great. It's just a beautiful opportunity to grow those real relationships.
Yeah. Did you ever use the find nearby option when it was available?
Oh yeah, well, at the events, but
Yeah.
not like at home or anything.
Oh, no. Yeah, no. Yeah, I loved it. I like to go up, like if I'm hosting an event, and go up and say, hey, everybody pull out your phones. And we just do this mass group connect,
Yeah.
and 100 people connect to each other at one spot. So.
Oh, it's like the
I love
QR
that
code one too,
Oh
right?
yeah.
When people get so jazzed about that, they're like,
Oh
"What?
yeah.
I have my own QR code? This is great!
No.
Easy connection."
And now I have these business cards that have NFC chips in them, and so I can just put it near your phone, or there's also a ring that you can get, but you can literally just kind of slide it by somebody's phone, and all of a sudden your LinkedIn or whatever you program to comes up on their phone, and they
Ah,
can just
so
connect to
cool.
you. There's lots of cool tech out there that's kind of going around, but
Yes.
so with your posts and everything, how do you turn the engagement that's happening on the post into a conversation? Obviously, there's some sort of process you must go through to kind of get that rolling, I'm assuming.
Um, you know, most of the time my call to action. So it's like marketer 101, right? Marketing 101, everything you do should have a call to action because
Yeah.
you want your content to cause an action that you can measure. And that action is usually a question on content on LinkedIn. So you ask a question and you can encourage engagement that way. A lot of people say, agree question mark, and that's such a weird like blanket statement, I don't know, thing to plop in there because it doesn't instill or initiate any kind of value that could happen. So asking, like, what do you prefer, this or that? One of the things that I had that really performed well. So I had this post on our newsletter's dead because I got really upset that one of my newsletters that I have, when I send it, the send rate is so low because everything is hitting spam filters today.
Oh yeah.
Like now that regulations are really high and tight.
Yeah.
And I posted our newsletter is dead. And it was kind of not controversial, but it was something that a lot of marketers, especially the people who that's their job is doing newsletters, they get
Yeah.
offended and they want to defend everything. So it was really cool to see these people so passionate about no, newsletters aren't dead, and some people are like, yeah, I hate them, I never want to see one in my inbox ever again. But that is what kind of initiates it all. And that's what Shay was so good at in the beginning, where she really just ramped up. Is she highlights some very controversial things, and
Yeah.
she's not afraid to be bold and to
Yeah.
be bright. And that, at first, that's what kind of drew me away from her, was she was just overconfident and really into what she was saying, and she held hard and true to it. But then, a month later, she'd come out with like an apology video that says, I was wrong, and this, and I'm like, okay, cool. All right, now
Yeah.
we're on the right path. But when you do share something, you just got to believe in it and go with it 120% and encourage that dialogue. Don't shut it down.
Yeah. Now, do you normally start with a question, or is it like you do some dialogue about something and then there's a question, or how do you kind of frame that?
It's different in every post. I mean, like, one thing I did was, have you ever been caught in quicksand? Because I had shared the story where I got stuck in quick mud with my son and we
Wow.
couldn't get out. It was like concrete. It was the most terrifying thing. But it brought it down to, like, this is what a stress test is and how you get out of a crisis and all that.
Okay.
And it didn't really ask a question, but I just, encourage the conversation to continue below, because you can only have so many characters.
Right.
So I'd say, if you want to see how I got out of this mess, check the comments below. And then I continued the post and continued the post. It had people laughing and relating to my husband, who saw me and my son struggling in mud up to our knees, and he was just recording on his phone and laughing hysterically. So it takes all kinds to
Oh yeah.
create a delicious recipe.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
There's like, I really don't think there's a blueprint, or like every great piece of content has this and this. Even the people who are viral all the time and they say this is how you go viral, you try it, you don't go viral, and you're like, oh well, maybe I just suck, and you're trying to figure out what went wrong. But I really don't think there is a strategic approach. I think it is really just your voice, your story, and what people need to hear with those trending hashtags.
Oh,
Which
wow.
is a whole nother topic, isn't it, Jess?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Well, the nice thing is you kind of can tell what's good, as far as the hashtags, because there's that like on the far left-hand side at the bottom, there's something where you can click your hashtags and it'll show you how many people are in each hashtag. And so you can kind of gauge, what makes sense. And, but also you want to have it to be relevant too, so that you're getting the right audience. So I do
Yeah.
think it helps with targeting too. So I think there's some positiveness to it, but.
Right. Yeah. So many variables. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
So how do you, so how do you get your brand out there? I mean, I know you're doing your posts, but how do you kind of get it from, a good post about something interesting to a client? So how do you kind of make that transition?
So I would say that only 10% of my content is promotional or about business and marketing.
Mhm.
The rest is really about, life and productivity and being positive and getting through crap.
Right.
So there really isn't much, but when people do see that I am a active creator, I think every time I do a video that has strategic like marketing advice, it will get me about 10 leads, and my close rate's usually about 50%, because half of them probably either can't afford it or don't want something like that, etc. They want the DIY approach. So it really is all inbound. It's really just when people see it and it resonates and they know that they need help with their brand or marketing or even just their content or whatever, they'd reach out and let me know.
Okay.
And I haven't had a problem
Nice.
since then. Yeah, it's been real nice, but it's like I'm worried for when that like lull comes, because if I'm not having the clients come in, what am I doing? But
exactly. So are you pulling people off of LinkedIn somehow and putting them into like a email campaign or anything, or?
no, I'm not. I'm just creating those real and raw relationships, sending thank you cards and check-in emails, and just being a genuine human that wants to connect at that level versus putting them in on a newsletter and stuff like that. Because I mean, I just kind of already told you how I feel about newsletters.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a list, but I don't use it in a newsletter or any kind of other funnel.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm always paranoid because I hear about people, that get their accounts shut down for whatever reason or something happens or, so anyway.
Same. I'm terrified. That's why I refuse to like do too much. I'm so nervous. I don't want it to be taken away from me.
Yeah, no, that's true. And, well, good. Well, thank you. I think you've added a lot of value today. I think we'll get a lot of positive feedback on this episode, so I'm excited to hear that.
Oh, God. Yes, I know we've been talking for a while, Jess. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I just looked at the time and I'm like, my next podcast is in about 10 minutes here, so I got to get off and figure out what to get a cup of water or something. But anyway, again, so you said LinkedIn's the best place. And what was your website again?
Well, ChantelSoumis.com has my story and a little bit of the background of chronic illness and adversity, DEI, speaking, things along those lines. And then Stardust Creative, we're a .net. I have a .com, but I haven't reconnected it yet. My team's got to get on that. I got to put that on my list right now as soon as I get off this call.
It's Stardust, is that?
Stardust Creative. Yep.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
Well, we'll make sure we get that in the show notes as well. And again, just thank you. We got a lot of value, and I learned a lot too.
Good. Good. Oh, I'm glad.
I enjoyed chatting with you. So.
Yes. Well, if you're ever in Madison, let me know. I hear you don't drink, but I know where some good food is. So come to a LinkedIn local. Yeah. There we go.
Well, thank you everybody for listening to the show, and we will talk to you on the next one.